Hello, yes, and welcome to the CardQuestDan Podcast with my lovely special guest this week, Nathan, who is also known as Poke Cove in the Pokemon community. How are you today, Nathan?
Great. I mean, it's still a little bit hot, but we're working
Oh,
through
it's
it.
roasting in the UK at the moment. I am sweating buckets. Even in this room, I'm just like melting right now. So we've got our water. We're going to talk nice stuff. You are my next guest, following on from my last guest, which was actually Jason Page, which I think you listened to as well. And
It's a tough act to
I've always
follow.
got fantastic guests, and you're another fantastic guest.
Me and Jason Page, I don't in the same
Well,
bracket, of course, you know.
we got to start somewhere, right?
Right, for sure,
We all have to start somewhere.
for
But
sure.
no, I appreciate you coming on and taking the time out of your busy schedule in streaming because you do whatnot streaming. You are also a vendor because you do go to card shows as well, don't you? Correct me if
Yeah,
I'm wrong.
sometimes, when I can, for sure.
When he can. Because
Yeah,
he's got so much stock, guys and girls. You know, he's just like so much stuff. He's always showing it off on the back wall. If you ever get to see it, follow him on Poke Cove, on whatnot, and you'll see, and on Instagram, you'll see what it is like. Forgive us already as well, viewers, because and listeners. I have a child in the background. Cove has a dog. Now, if the dog or the child does a bark or a squeak, then you know why. But that might not happen, so let's carry on anyway.
doesn't help.
So let's talk about what's happening this week. There's a lot of stuff going on in the Pokemon hobby right now, and craziness with the grading industry. I mean, I grade a few cards, and you. I mean, do you grade your cards? Do you have your personal collection graded, or is that in a binder, or
I
do
have
you
not.
grade predominantly to sell on?
I have not once submitted a card for grading in my life. That being said, I'm pretty familiar with the process, and I do buy and sell a ton of graded cards, and have a ton of graded cards in my own collection, which I probably should be sending them myself. But I'm pretty bad about remembering to send things off. So even when I got the slots, like I have like five different ace like slots open that I booked like months ago that I just never
Hmm.
used. I forgot to send things off. So I end up just buying them already slabbed. But I have been paying attention to it because I do try to stay informed on the grading anyways.
Yeah, it's a bit nuts at the moment. I mean, Ace have announced their new tiers, which has caused some upset in the community in terms of maybe for the collectors. In my mind, I'm doing it for the community, for the collecting, and
Mhm.
my podcast is about, speaking to other collectors that have their personal collection,
Sure,
but I also do speak to vendors and whatnot sellers.
sure.
Now, do we think the new Ace tiers benefit the sellers more than the collectors?
I I don't know if they benefit anyone. I think
You don't think they benefit anybody? Yeah, that's a good shout as well, to be fair.
I think it's hard because in on one hand you have to understand obviously Ace is a business, right? Uh,
Mm,
prices are gonna get raised at certain points. But I think that the recent move to the membership plus a lot of the tiers have gone up by more than 100%, right? Overall.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. A hundred
think
percent increase is nuts.
I think maybe it's a bit much all at once. And I think that it makes grading tough for anyone, even if you're just using the lowest tier. Right now,
Mm,
the time increased, right? I think.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
it's like, yeah, 95 odd days, or I might be wrong, but it's quite a long time, yeah.
right. So for sellers now, I mean, in general, it always was if you're trying to bulk grade a lot of things and use the more value tier because you don't want to spend as much money to grade your cards. You
Mm-hmm.
need to have the inventory to submit things monthly, and then eventually after the 3 4 months get your stuff back, and then you can start selling the stuff on a monthly basis that comes back. uh, but now that time's even longer, now you sort of need more inventory than you did before
Mm.
to start the grading cycle that you would want to be in. And then as a collector, not for selling things, you don't want to wait so long, and if you don't want to wait so long, you also don't want to pay the prices that would require you to not wait so long. So I think that I think it's just a reflection of everything in the world. Everything is expensive right now, right? So,
Mm,
but maybe
yes.
it could have been more gradual. I think is the takeaway I'm
Yeah.
getting from it.
To me, as a collector and doing it with my son and making my own binder, yes, I do a bit of selling on the side, but I don't go actively out there to seek the stock. I suppose it's stuff that I don't really want. If I'm pulling stuff out of an ETB or something, and I'm like, well, maybe I don't want that in my collection, I'll just sell it on. Whereas other people, I don't know, like yourself, might try and invest in those stock, or is it just an accumulation of your stock that you sell on?
Yeah, yeah. I think that I really enjoy the process of finding the deals on things, and I don't know how to say no to a good deal. Which for a long time, for the first like 6, 7 months, 8 months that I was on the Whatnot platform, I was just a buyer. It wasn't under the same username. It was under like one of the default Whatnot usernames. It was like Nathan Har 59, whatever, some random numbers and letters as the ticker. Um,
Yeah.
and I was just buying a ton of stuff. And the thing is, I got so like I really enjoy the concept of like I don't know, going full into something, right? So like really learning the market, and then when I was collecting stuff that I wanted, I would always like make sure to get a good price on the things that I was trying to collect for myself. But when I was in that mindset, I would continuously buy things that not I don't necessarily want, but they were good
Mm.
prices, and then spawn the stream. And that's how it goes now with graded cards as well. Is like when I'm buying for myself, and I happen to be in a place that's selling slabs, I will also be looking for a good price. Because if I can see something priced incorrectly, or if it's on auction and it goes for too low, and then I can sell that on for the like at or slightly below market price, and
Mm.
that helps fund the personal collection, then
Hmm.
then it's a win. Um,
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm like, I suppose. If I can sell it on and make some money to add to my own collection or take it to a card show and then trade it for something that I really want,
for
then I
sure.
will. But is this going to impact the slabs prices now moving forward as well? So if you're going to go to a card show or if you're selling slabs and it takes longer to grade them and you need to pay for an additional service, surely it's going to impact the actual price of the slabs as well compared to raw cards.
I think we maybe see less of the I don't want to say lower tier slabs because that's not a good way to describe them. But some of the cards that are like, for example, like 2 to 5 pound Japanese AR, we might see a lot less of
Hmm.
that being graded now because even if you get a 10 on one of those, right? If you're
Mm.
attempting to sell it on, now you even if you sell at market, you're not. There's no
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you're people are basically either gonna be only grading themselves those things for themselves for their own PC, which is great. So that happens, but you're gonna stop seeing a lot of that stuff. I think eventually at card shows. I don't think it necessarily is going to pump the price of the slabs up by any means, but I think it's going to maybe cause less of them to be around, which is
Yeah. So it's used as a way, I suppose, if you look at it from a greater company perspective, to stop, I guess, people sending in entire ETBs, for example. I've seen basic cards get graded, which I'm thinking, why the hell are you even grading something that's not even needed to be graded? Is it just to show off the slabs or make a quick buck? But I've seen them be sold. It probably costs more to grade the card, surely, than it is to sell these ones as well. But people like to have those quick hits, or sometimes they prefer slabs. But maybe you're right. This will now aim it more into the higher market, like the Charizards of the world, the Umbreons, the bigger cards of them as well. I know there's obviously less,
yeah,
the basic Charizards, but the higher end stuff is going to be pushed more.
right, and I think it more like you were just saying, it like stops people from maybe submitting an entire ETB or someone that buys a like super high tension Babanuki the old maid decks, right? They maybe don't submit the entire thing to grading anymore because the cost doesn't really make sense to try and
Mm,
grade a 30 card old maid deck. And it used to, I think, for people that were trying to grade a bunch of stuff and then sell it on, it used to make sense. But I think
mm,
now either the time is going to be too long, or the margin on doing something like that is going to be a lot less as well. So I think that we will see a lot less of the stuff that you don't necessarily understand why people send it in. And that's not
Yeah.
to say that it's only going to be high end that gets sent in, because I don't think that that would be right either. But I think you're going to see a lot less of like the bulk or the different card games like the Taruka decks and the old maid decks and stuff like that sent in.
No, good. Good. We don't want that stuff. We
Yeah,
want to see nice, good slabs, but it's making me turn to more keeping stuff raw and in the binder just to easily flick through. I do have a couple of slab stuff that I want to just keep on the display because
sure,
I graded it myself, i.e., PSA 10 Burger Chew, for example.
sure.
It's not worth thousands, is it? Because there's so many in there, but I just sent it
It's
off.
cool.
Yes, it adds value to the card, I understand that, but it still looks like a decent card just to keep in my personal
Yeah,
collection, along with my other Pikas that I want to grade if I wanted to. But now I'm like, I might keep them in the binder longer and just submit maybe one card every so often. But because PSA are now getting rid of the value tier for God knows how long, it might be
right.
4 to 5 months before they get rid of the backlog. Because I just literally sent one card off recently, which is like an EV, and I'm like, see you in 5 to 6 months, but that's what I can afford right now as part of my personal collection.
Right.
Or will I want to sell it on? I don't know. It depends on what I'm doing at the time.
Of course.
So yeah, it's just is Pokemon. I suppose it goes into another subject in a way. Is Pokemon becoming too much about money?
I think I think it's hard to say that it's. I don't think it's getting too much about it, but I think it's hard to ignore the fact that it's become a bigger player in the space, right? Especially now that there's so much institutional money in the space with shops and uh,
Mm,
repacking companies, and I mean even like myself or other vendors sort of add to that, where it's like there's a lot of people that are whether like for example like I got into it because I was collecting it personally, and then it just happened to work my way into streaming and vending. A lot of people that are into the vending scene got into collecting as a result of wanting to do the vending part, right? So it's hard to ignore that money does play a role more so these days
mm,
than it did 5-10 years ago. I think maybe it becomes a little bit too much about money, but it's hard, I guess, to come to that conclusion when it's just too.
mm. It takes away from the fun from the actual people that are collecting for the hobby. Like me, with I'm doing
Yeah,
art rares and Pikas. My son's doing Charizard, Lucarios now. But then you've got to contend. Like I had to queue for the most recent release, ETB Chaos Rising, outside the toy shop at
yeah.
5 in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning, or before that, just to beat. And there was people ahead of me at 5 in the morning, like 8 or 9 people, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? You don't look like. I mean, you can't judge people, but you don't know what they're there for.
Sure.
And maybe they're older than me or they're younger than me. And when you get talking to people in the queues, you're like, so what are you collecting and what's your thing? And some of them are really open and admit it. Yeah, I'm just going to collect. I'm just literally selling it on eBay, mate. Makes
Yeah.
me a quick buck and all this stuff, and they sell it for double the price. And those people, I just want to grab and throw out of the queue. Not going to lie,
It,
it's just harsh.
it really makes you wonder if there's a better way to do release days, right? Like, I mean, I know that some of the shops do a lot of like pre-order stuff, and those I think work pretty well. Um, but I know they don't want to do 100% of their inventory as pre-order, right? Uh,
Mm,
which creates these release days where everyone to get some sealed product, you have to show up like you said at like 5 a.m. And I've all but stopped trying to get sealed product myself. I end up, if I do buy any sealed product, I buy it like after
mm,
the fact on the secondhand market, which like I guess I'm part of the problem to an extent, right? That comes to the prices that we see. Uh,
mm.
you would hope that at some point there maybe is some better process to.
Yeah, and they are trialing it. They said in Japan, didn't they? The Pokemon Center wants to use digital ID.
Mm,
Now, I'm for that. That I've got my ID. That stops the bots as well.
Sure.
automatically uploading, but they always have a way around something, don't they, sometimes? And will it actually stop? So not only am I contending against people in the queues at 5 a.m., I'm contending against the bots on the Pokemon Center websites, and you have to be really on the ball, don't you? Like,
Yeah.
when you know a release is coming out, I was thankful that I did get a Pokemon Center ETB, but only because I was on time. And there was more stock. Sometimes they allocate more stock, don't they? And people seem to
Yeah.
be in the queue for hours and getting stuff. But if it's for something like Ascended Heroes, the stock went even quicker.
If you're 5 minutes late, you're not getting it. Or
Yeah.
if you happen to lose internet for a quarter of a second, you get kicked out of the queue. Or there's all of these different things that
Mm,
contribute to the average person not being able to get their hands on an opportunity to open packs. And I mean, for a lot of people, it's the only opportunity that they're going to have to get some of these bigger cards. I mean, it's the only opportunity that I have for a lot of like bigger chase cards. Like, I'm not going out of my way to buy super expensive cards. So if
mm-mm.
I'm trying to get some of the
To
like the big,
rip.
yeah,
To
then
rip it out, yeah.
I have to rip a pack to get it, right? Like, I can't. I'm not gonna, like, for example, with Chaos Rising, I'm not gonna go out of my way to buy that Greninja, right? I don't necessarily think that I need it by any means, but the only way that I'm going to get that card is if I find packs at a reasonable price and get lucky enough
Yep.
to pull it, right? And and I think that for a lot of people also, like even if they did really want their Greninja card and want to buy it, not everyone can go out of their way and spend a few hundred quid on a card just
Mm-hmm.
they want it, right? It's not a small expense by any means. It's really expensive, right? And like we were saying, it's just there's so much money in the hobby that
There
people would
is. And
price.
it goes down to the collecting versus investing, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Whereas we collect and we mildly dip our toe in maybe the investing and selling side, but
sure,
then you get people that are just purely investing. They're holding sealed ETBs for an extended period of time and then selling them on for a bigger profit. There might not be anything in those ETBs. It's the gamble, isn't it? It's like
sure.
the mystery behind it. But yeah, I mean, that conversation can go so deep, and we all know about it.
Go
That's
forever.
like 17 minutes of our time. Let's talk about you as well. So, Poke Cove, everyone. You know, he's well known in the whatnot community, actually.
Very funny. It's very funny that it's become that. Like we always think about there's just I'm in so many different streams all the time, and I'm friends with a lot of
Mm.
the bigger streamers.
Yeah, you get to know them, don't you? Like me.
And yeah, and I got to know you. I get to know it's a lot of other people, and by like just absorption of other people being in the same places that you're in, they get to know you as well, and they get to know your username, and it's like you become. I mean, I think everyone, even just people that are buyers on the platform, become like known personas in the community. And it's a very interesting concept. So like
Mm.
people around
And you
different.
get recognized by the bigger streamer. Oh, you're coming into their stream. They say hello to you. They know that you buy from them as well, I
Sure,
suppose. You do
sure,
some of the cars that I see. Oh, I think I actually want that. I might stick a bid in. Um, for example, shout out to Pokey Retreat, and
sure,
the ones like Shogun as well. Shout out, we're in there quite a lot of the time because they're quite the bigger side of the platform, aren't they? In terms of
sure.
that's their full time job and they sell cards on there for a living, whereas
Right.
we sort of do it as a side thing. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, 100%. Right. Like this is by no means my full time thing. I don't think that I would at this point ever want to do it as a full time thing. I think if I got into it, if I got into the selling aspect and the vending aspect 10 years ago, maybe maybe I'd be in a different opinion of like, oh, this is what I would want to do. But I think that I mean, I like what I do in my normal life way too much for me to
Yeah.
ever want to do this. Do
I
this.
don't have time to do it full time. I've got
Of
a
course, yeah,
family, I've got my normal job. I like to dip into it and help my son with his own personal collection and
sure,
stuff and go to card shows and enjoy it.
yeah,
Um, a whatnot story I just wanted to touch with you on. It's a bit of a controversial subject, I suppose, but as a seller on there, and as other sellers are up and coming on there, you go into the bigger streamers, and there's no disrespect to Retreat or Shogun, they're nice guys, they're in there, they're selling. But the cards that they do show sometimes, Do you think the hype behind the cards and like the atmosphere of whatnot, the bidding platform, it's like, come on, guys, get it. We've got a buyer's giveaway in the background. Do people pay over the odds on quite a lot of cards?
I think it's actually a really good question. I think it really depends on where you are. Um, and I think that a conversation that I had with another person who doesn't really stream very often anymore, but it was like Specky's Emporium, if you remember Specky. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about like because I mostly just sit there and just sort of requests and hang out and chill. Um, but when you do sort of these rapid single streams, sometimes things go way more than they should. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times they go for slightly less than they should, and I think just like for in for lack of better phrasing, reputable streams, law of averages over the long term, they get near market, maybe slightly above. Um,
Mm.
and I think that another thing is that because of like you're saying when you involve buyers giveaways, right?
Mm-hmm.
That does of course pump the price of the card up on
Mm-hmm.
right? But let's say over the course of let's say someone's doing a speed round for an ETB, right? And the market value of the ETB is £85, we'll say. The
Mm-hmm.
seller sells 100 cards during the speed round, and every single one of them goes for £1 over market, we'll say,
Yeah.
right? You take into the fees to account. We'll say it's then you get 90p over, and they give away the 85. It does feel to the average person or to the majority of the buyers they did pay slightly more because they don't
Yeah.
realize the expected value of being in that giveaway, right? Only one person in that giveaway gets to actually capitalize on the giveaway because they want it, right? Everyone else
Mm-hmm.
is sort of just paying the extra £1 and getting nothing as a result. But one person
Yeah.
gets the full benefit there, right? So I think that it is
It's
not
like a lottery ticket for the
yeah
person.
yeah and like it does I would like to say like from like anecdotally watching sort of buyer giveaways and speed rounds and that kind of deal, it does maybe increase the seller's margin on some of the cards by a little bit, even after the buyer's giveaway, but not by like an insane amount, I think. And I think that maybe that's maybe a misconception in some cases for some streamers that like, oh, they're getting why are people paying so much for these cards? The seller is making so much money. When a lot of the time, because it's what they're giving away is such a valuable thing, that it doesn't actually make a ton of difference on their end. But then, because only one person gets the buyer's giveaway, right? Like we just said, the average person does end up paying more for sure. I think you might have frozen here for a sec. Oh no. But yeah, I mean, I think that I think it's definitely an interesting concept when it comes to that sort of buyer's giveaway versus I guess it's just me now that sort of pumps prices. And I think that when you're in a stream that is a reputable like big player in the scene, shot like Dan said, Poke Retreat, Shogun, I mean Hatters, Amir, JWZ, like all of these sort of these people, you get a lot of things that go over, things that go under, and as long as everyone is sort of happy to be there, paying the price they're paying, and I think that like law of averages in the long run, it works out. There are some streams, of course, where I think people buy into the hype, or they are, uh, misled. I think to an extent. I think that's a big current issue that when Dan gets back here, we might touch on. I don't know if he wants to go down that road right now because there's a lot of controversy right now in the whatnot community as a result of some interesting stuff going on. But we'll let him decide whether or not he wants to do that when he gets back in here. But I mean, I'll fill the time. I'm sure he might want to decide to edit this out anyways. But for those of you that don't know me, Nathan, Poke Cove. It's my girlfriend Zoe and I. We are American. If you couldn't tell by the accent, we moved to the UK a few years ago, and I had been into Pokemon from a young age, and I had gotten out of the hobby, mostly because my family couldn't afford it when I was a kid, and then I didn't really get back into it until like 2023, which is probably the worst time to get back into it. Although I think arguably now is even a worse time to get back into it, because things are so much more expensive now, even than they were 2 years ago, 2 3 years ago, right? Um, but I got back into it, and then got back into discovered whatnot. Um, went on a buying spree to catch up. Catch up. I'll never be truly caught up to where I left off. Was the last time that I was opening packs when I was a kid was EX Deoxys. Way back when. And Fire Red, Leaf Green, and like sort of the EX era stuff, right? When I got back into it, now it's a very different scene. Um, but yeah, we decided to start streaming just for fun, here and there, and I think it's evolved from we would get on like once a week, twice a week maximum, just for a few hours and hang out and sell whatever extras we had on the week. It's evolved very much to a uh, somewhat of an obsession for me, and but I like to make it very casual. So like I don't go on there and do crazy streams or rapid singles or big buyers giveaways to sort of encourage sales. I'm more of just like get on there and similar to vending, right? It's like this is what I have, this is what it costs. Happy to make a deal. Uh, and it's been fun. It's been fun. It's been fun to meet a lot of people through it, and a lot of new friends. Uh, and but it's been good. Um, well, that's my life with Pokemon. At least Zoe had never been into it at all until she discovered whatnot, and she sort of went down the deep end, going crazy with it. Yeah, so I've been rambling. Don't you worry. I've been telling you can edit it out, Dan, or you can just listen to me ramble.
Tell you what, forgive the feed there. We had a minor technical difficulty. Now, whether I need to edit it or cut it out or whatever, I don't know. So I've come inside because my phone and my device overheated, and it said, "Warning, cannot do anything until I cool down the phone." Can you believe it? That's how hot it is. It
Oh
even
my god,
shorted out the device.
you gotta love it. No, I was just talking. Uh,
Where do we
I
get
talked.
to?
I
Yes.
talked a bit more on the buyer's giveaway stuff, and then I touched a little bit on how most of the time I think that generally speaking you will likely pay like a reasonable price in a lot of the bigger streams, but there are of course some streams you should look out for where there's maybe a little more hype driving the bidding. And then I said we don't have to get into it. Dan can decide if he wants to get into the big stuff going on right now on that. I didn't want to go down that rabbit hole without you.
No. It does balance out for settlers and things because the sellers are losing money and making money at the same time. And there's some big prizes out there. There's some Gem Mint 10 PSA slabs that some of the bigger sellers get rid of, and they need to sell a certain amount of cards that can go into thousands of cards before they can even do that. Yes, you might buy in for £2 or £3, but at least you're in that giveaway, I suppose, as a gamble,
Yeah,
and you'll be at the end with 400 or 500 other people maybe in that same buyer's giveaway. I mean, I'm guilty of it. I've entered little £2 or £3, even for cards that I might not even want, just to get the prospect, which sucks me in, and that's what I need to be careful of because it is a gamble and it does suck you into the buyer's giveaway.
and I
It's an
think that
effective sales tactic as well.
I think that's like a I mean, especially given like the industry that I work on not the Pokemon side, is I work very much in the gaming and the sports betting industry, and I think that a disclaimer that I think that we should always make is that if you are entering into buyers giveaways with the thought of like, oh, I can, like, I'm spending more money than I should because if I just win one more then I'll make it back or whatever, probably you should restrict your spend. Be a little more conscious about it, right? But if it's
Dude,
like a few pounds here or there, and it's not making any actual financial impact on your life, whether you lose those few pounds here or there, then it's all in good fun and it's okay.
yeah,
Uh,
bid responsibly. That's
yeah,
it. Like with
exactly.
anything in life, it's like drink alcohol responsibly, bid responsibly. You know, it's your money at the end of the day. Only do it if you really are able to do so, I suppose.
Yes.
And, you know, I've decided to take a little bit of a step back from it because, yeah, you notice those £2 to £3. And if you're on whatnot, it does add up. Even though that's like 2 or 3 quid, at the end of the month, you're like, whoa, that's hundreds of pounds I've spent on streams without knowing. And there's all this mail coming through the post, and my missus is like, "What are you doing?"
It's I'm definitely guilty of it as well. As you know, I spend quite a bit of time buying from various places and in various streams. So it's I'm all too
Yeah.
aware of two here, five here, 12 here can significantly add up over the
Oh,
course of months, years.
massively.
Exactly.
Um, well, I'm hoping this podcast didn't completely cut out, and hopefully this works all the way through because we had a lovely, nearly half an hour conversation now, and the first part was just glitchy because of how hot the weather is.
Yeah.
Um, but what I'm going to do is ask you just on at the end here. You know, you've got your own personal collection. What is your favourite card or grail in your own personal collection?
Sure. I don't have it in front of me. Um,
But you can tell me what it is.
I will. So okay, so the biggest things that I collect, and there's sort of three of them, but the biggest things that I really do love are the like Japanese black and white and X and Y full arts. So like Legendary Dream Shine collection and things like that. That being said, my favorite cards, um, I have like a pretty extensive Pichu collection. I'm missing very few things from it. The only things that I'm missing are beyond my price range. I will never be able to buy. But my favorite cards are going to be my there's like a sort of niche Japanese promo. It's a Pichu, and then the other one, um,
A Pichu. I like those. Yeah.
and the other one is my pretend comedian Pikachu in an Ace Nine. That's my
Is it a
favorite.
legitimate
Yeah.
Pokemon card? It
Yes.
is. Okay.
It's a I believe it's a Sun and Moon promo. And if you look up, and everyone should go look these up. There's pretend comedian. There's gentleman Pikachu. There's pretend rocket boss, magma boss, galactic boss. All of these different. He's in different like
Like
uh,
suits and things.
suits and costumes and all of these different things. From the same era as like ponchos and so on and so forth.
Yeah, the ponchos I know about. I
They
didn't know
make
about this one
really
though.
they make really really fun cards. I think you'll enjoy the pretend comedian for sure.
I'm
It's
gonna
totally
look it up after this little episode. I will look up the pretend comedian, or you could just send me it and I'll clip it.
for sure.
It'll be part of the podcast. But yeah, we know we've touched on a few subjects today. Um, we could have another discussion later on in the month.
Sure.
Um, or if this fails, then I'll just speak to you tomorrow.
Wonderful.
No, but if you're
Do it
listening,
all
it's
over
all
again.
good.
We're gonna be
If it's all
optimistic.
good, everyone, you're listening right now and you're watching, then everything's hunky dory. The fun of podcasting, it's literally like pre recorded, but it's live and anything can happen. But
Exactly.
I'll have a look at it and just keep it as good as possible. And how do people find you, Nathan, on socials and
Yeah.
anywhere else?
So on whatnot, you can find us at just Poke Cove, and on Instagram it's the same thing, but it's an extra underscore because someone stole our username years ago.
Someone stole your username. How sad.
Before we existed, they stole our username. How dare they? But
Yeah.
yeah, on Instagram we get the two underscores. On whatnot, we get the one underscore, and that's the best way to find me.
I'm gonna moan about one of your cards actually, because you like Pikachu collection. You bought a lovely red Pikachu.
No.
I never let you down on this, do I? Every
I
time I
regret
see
I
you,
regret selling it, Dan.
I
I
know
do
you're
regret
like,
selling
yes, I
it.
got it for whatever price it was, but then you had to sell it because obviously it's gone more, and it was more beneficial to make the money back and then some just to buy some dog food or whatever.
It it served the purpose that I bought it for. The issue is I also really just wanted to keep the slab myself.
I'll bet you wanted to keep it so badly as well. I
I
would.
regret selling it on somewhat, right?
There'll be another one out there. I think Raw at
Exactly.
the
One
moment it's
day.
gone down in value actually a little bit.
So
Um,
one day there will be another one for me, and I can
yeah,
just
and
keep
at
that
the
for my
right
life.
price. And then
Exactly.
you can send it off yourself if you want to get it graded. But you know what it's like at the moment,
Yes.
so yeah.
Yes. And I will get it back next calendar year, and we will hope that we get a good grade on it. But no, it
Yeah.
definitely there will be another one in the future, and I think that's one of the hardest things as a seller is when you buy and sell things that you like and you want to keep. Um,
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you,
as-
yeah, especially if it's something nice. Um, Alrighty. Thanks very much for joining me on the CardQuestDan podcast. Next episodes are coming in the future. Keep an eye on the socials. And again, thank you, Nathan, Poke Cove, for joining me. And we'll see you all again real soon.